The following program is a WSRE original documentary.
I remember the day that I was walking to class. Someone came up and said, "Hey, did y'all hear they attacked at Pearl Harbor?" And well, we really didn't know where Pearl Harbor was. We didn't know it was in Hawaii, and was probably going to be at war shortly, you know, and it all might have to be going in and fighting.
That I was at Pearl Harbor December 7th on the USS California. The California was hit with 2 torpedoes and sunk. It blew me over the side in the oily waters.
I joined the WWII in 43, the beginning of 43. Then I had a chance to go overseas, so I took it. We worked for him, for General MacArthur, the big boss, yes.
When I was in World War II in the Army Air Corps, flying B-24 Liberators, flew out of the 15th Air Force in Italy, was shot down and bailed out and went into Budapest and was taken prisoner.
The night the Liscombe Bay was sunk, we were anchored at an island. She was not very far from us. We was sitting up on deck at night. Somebody hollered, "There comes a torpedo." I got up and looked, and I haven't seen it yet, but it went right by us and hit the Liscombe Bay and sank it. As you know, the carriers carried around 2,000 men, and we picked up 53 survivors.
I fought on Iwo Jima in 1945. The 3rd Marine Division went ashore on February 22nd. We couldn't walk on the beach because there was dead Marines just piled up everywhere.
Well, I was the Tuskegee Airman. I was a crew chief. My job was just to find out how many planes the major needed every morning for pilots, for the trainees, and then I had to make sure we had that many planes ready.
I was in the United States Navy. I was a member of a flight crew, and we flew anti-sub patrols out of the Panama Canal Zone. And Harry Truman had the good sense to drop the atomic bomb, and he ended that war, and we didn't have to invade Japan.
I was in the Army, in the 1st Army, in that 563rd Anti-Aircraft Artillery Battalion. I was, as I said, a truck driver and operated the machine, the cannon too. Other than that, I was just a soldier. Anyone said he didn't get scared wasn't there. It was a horrible thing. In the Battle of the Bulge, there was 57,000 casualties, American casualties.
Freedom, that's what it's all about. And without it, you have nothing.
And it makes me proud that I was able to serve in World War II. And well, it's great to be an American, I tell you that.
These are men and women who fought in this great war and who now are in the latter stages of their lives, and they are appreciative, I think, of the fact that they are the greatest generation. And because of that, seeing that memorial and what it means not only to them but to the American people gives them a new sense of appreciation of all that happened and all of the things that took place during those terrible 4 years.
Over 16 million men and women proudly served in the United States Armed Forces during World War II. 6 decades have passed since the war ended. In 2004, a memorial was built in our nation's capital to honor those who served and those who gave their lives. This honor has come too late for many veterans. Their numbers are dwindling. Thousands are lost each day. Most die without ever seeing the beautiful memorial built in their honor. This is the story of a group of World War II veterans, unsung American heroes, who nearly 63 years after the war ended, participated in a special journey.
Got your ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Ready to go.
Honor Flight began a few years ago with a physician's assistant in Ohio that had a lot of patients that had never seen their memorial. He was a physician's assistant at a VA hospital, and he said, we need to make a change. So 6 private planes left Ohio with 2 veterans each in it. And from that, it's grown to over 5,000 people have gone to see their memorial.
Okay, Honor Flight is a way of taking those World War II veterans, because we're losing them, because think how far back World War II was, and we're losing World War II veterans by the thousands each day, and many of them will never get an opportunity to see that memorial that the nation has put together for them to honor their service, because their service was definitely honorable.
And here on the Emerald Coast, we've got 102 that'll be on this flight, and we have 250 on the waiting list, and we're going to get them there.
Good morning.
Hi, Stutco, DUC. Number 95.
All right, where were you? Marine Corps. Hurrah! Well, I was Army for 38 years, but isn't this a great day? It's a fantastic day. And the thing about it is, something it's a great day to be American. It's every day is a great day to be American. It is.
This is my papa, my grandfather. I'm excited for him.
I think they're more excited than I am, really.
Yes, I'm very proud of him. I come all the way from Fort Payne, Alabama to see this.
Army Air Corps. I was gunner on that, 2 different planes, on the 17th and the 29th. The 17th during 44 and the 45 then was transferred to the B-29. Anxious to see that memorial, but everything gonna be fine. It means a lot. It means maybe it seems like all of our sacrifice was not in vain, see? But the only thing, like I was telling the guy the other day, I said, the only thing I can say is I was just one of the ones that was blessed I come back.
Love you, bud. Bye.
Have a lot of fun.
I will. Love you. We'll see you when we get back in town.
Can you leave the stuff in the bag?
Yes, that's fine. They're X-rays.
You can leave all that in the bag. They're going to run your bag through there, okay? Yeah.
Got it.
They walk through that door downstairs and they're 20 years younger. And I understand they'll be 20 years younger than that when we get back. So we're going to have trouble keeping up with them.
All right.
Yeah, I got it.
How you doing? What number you got? 18. 15. How are you?
Take your time going down, baby. Okay?
See you over there. All right. Yeah.
Thank you.
I now invite rows 4 through 26. Anyone seated in rows 4 through 26 may board at this time.
It says you're Mr. Williams also. Sir, have a great flight. Thank you for your service. How you doing today, young fella? Come on aboard.
These men and women save the free world. We vote, we worship freely. Everything we do, everything we enjoy is because they made the sacrifices they did.
Got one more to go, okay? I just want to meet you.
Hello, how are you?
Hi.
Have a good time.
They're telling us we have 5 years to get these men and women there. After that, 99% of them will be physically incapable of making the trip. We've had many that have had to be taken off the list because of health issues. Lost 2 yesterday because of illness, so hopefully we'll be able to get them on the next one. But we need to do it quickly.
We don't have too far to travel. We're just in one area.
I've always known these guys are heroes, but to sit and talk with them and hear their stories and walking through the south of France or in a battle in the Pacific and to hear what they've been through, just you can't imagine that scope until you've had somebody sit there and tell you it.
I can't wait to see their reaction at the memorial.
Big step, Dan. That feller's going to guide you through. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
You got a little step up right here, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Step up right here, young man. All right, sir.
102 World War II veterans boarded the plane in Pensacola, bound for Washington, D.C. For many on board, This will be their first and only chance to visit our nation's capital, to see their memorial. Their journey finally begins.
Are you ready for an exciting day? Amen.
We thank you so much for your sacrifices for our country, that we may live in the prosperity that we now have in our wonderful country. We're just about ready to take the runway. We'd like to have our flight attendants go ahead and take their stations at this time. Once we get to the cruising altitude and prove that it's going to be smooth for you, we'll turn the seatbelt sign off. Until that time, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened about you for your own comfort and safety.
Should be arriving just about on time. Should be hopefully about 10 minutes early. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride.
We want to begin our flight, our day-to-day, by going to our Lord in prayer, okay? We especially thank you, Lord, for those who never did come home, and remember them in this moment as we lift to you all praise, honor, and glory in your most holy name. Amen.
It's just amazing that we're here with these guys while they're getting to walk around and see the memorial and bring out all these stories. Many of these stories they haven't told for years and years and years, and just to be a part of that here, it's truly an honor for us to be here on this flight.
We have coffee, tea, sodas, juices, and more water if you'd like it.
Although they did not serve side by side during the war, these veterans quickly became comrades and friends. Anticipation, laughter, and stories were shared as they traveled to their destination.
Stationed away from home that you appreciated very, very much. To see those cards and letters coming in from home, to know what was going on, to keep that connection with the home front. What a blessing that was. Snyder.
Snyder. Thompson.
Yes, sir.
Steele.
You do what you're told really well, don't you? That's your mail call, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right now, your current conditions in Washington, we have calm winds, 10-mile visibility, with a temperature of 52 degrees. It's been our honor to bring you up from Pensacola up to Washington. Once again, we thank you and appreciate you flying US Air and hope to serve you again on a future flight.
A warm welcome awaited the group upon their arrival in Washington, D.C.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome to Washington, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
welcoming every time we have an honor air flight come in. It is very close to the heart and makes you feel so good. And I love it.
Why is it important?
That we honor these men who made the world what it is today. And I thank every one of them for what they've done for us. So that we can all be free and do what we want to do.
Even strangers making travels of their own stop to recognize and honor this group of veterans.
Well, they just landed here. They had a tremendous outpouring from the public here. You can see the excitement in their faces and the realization that they're finally going to see their dream in their memorial.
Well, we do it every week. We love to welcome the veterans. A lot of times it's the first time they visited D.C., maybe their only chance, so it's great. It's great to see them. We're very proud to do it.
Travelers, airport employees, and USO volunteers joined in the celebration. Each had their own personal reasons for greeting the passengers of Honor Flight.
To welcome these guys back to our fair city and to show my respects. My dad was in the service, and he served many years. It's very important to me, yes.
The group boarded 3 buses bound for the World War II Memorial.
There goes a plane off right there. About 1 per minute in and out at Reagan National Airport. So I don't know how much y'all know about the World War II Memorial as far as appearance and everything, but I don't believe you're going to be disappointed. Just keep looking. There it is. The White House. And look to your left, the Jefferson Memorial. They're in a straight line there. Look where we are now, the Washington Monument. They stopped construction back in the 1800s, and when they went back to finish it, they could not match the color of the stone. No, they'd gone to a different level, a different strata. All right, well, next destination, World War II Memorial. You ready for this? You ready for this? Hey, they're all waving to us. Look at those flags. That's wonderful. All right, and here you see the Pacific Arch. And look at the magnificent eagles right under the arch.
What's your grandfather's last name Myers also?
While our nation's capital offered many historic sights to see, these World War II veterans came for one purpose.
Just yet, sir. Good to see you. Welcome to Washington. We're glad to host you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. It's going to be a good day. It is.
In one piece. Check on my other guys. I know he's okay.
Army buddies. We'll back up. See if I can't take that away. How do we delete that?
Get you over here so you can read the sign.
I don't believe many of them expected to see all of the things that we are seeing here today. The size of it, the scope of it, the detail that has gone into the planning, all of the graphics that go with it are just absolutely outstanding. It's going to take us a lot more time to, if we could only do that, to go around and actually see and inspect everything, because the time on this is relatively short. But so many of these people have come having this as the only opportunity for them to see this. And as we came up here on the plane and rode in the buses and are standing around this morning, these men are swapping war stories from all sorts of places. They don't have to have been in the same places together, but they've just become comrades here in a matter of a couple of hours. It's just a marvelous experience.
I say that the position of this memorial is very important because of where it is on the National Mall. The Washington Monument behind us, the father of our country, Abraham Lincoln, a little bit further down, the great emancipator, and a little bit further out, it's the United States Capitol building, where we work every day. Every day and every night we come out of that building, we look this direction and we see your memorial. We know what you did. We know that some of your friends and your comrades did not come home. But this memorial is yours. It was a long time in coming. For those of you who have never seen it, I'm sure it's a stunning thing to witness. We thank you for your fight against oppression and tyranny across the globe. You are truly America's greatest generation. And this is your memorial on behalf of the American people to say thank you for the sacrifice that you and your family made for not only this country, but other countries around the globe. But we're going to have a little bit of time here to do photographs and let you walk around and see. The one thing that we didn't do as we came in was stop at the Florida pillar. It was actually, as we came through the Pacific columns, it was right to our left. But a lot of you were not from Florida at the time and you want to go to whatever your column is to see it. But this is a very, very important place to us, and we say it's hallowed ground as well because of what it stands for. And so without further ado, I think we're going to do the wreath presentation. Oh my gosh. Ladies and gentlemen,
the government didn't build this. We all did with $5, $10, $100, $500. We got $20 million left to take care of it. And the government gave us $5 million for startup money, and counting the interest and everything, we raised a total of about $175 million. So this is a very wonderful, unique, dignified, you know, to just sort of honor your service. And there are 5 magic words, you know. Thank you for your service. And I want to thank all of you for your service, and thank the widows who are here, and the family members, and you probably got a doctor around. Doctor, yeah. You all come on one plane?
Yes, sir.
Got her filled up.
I want to thank you for your service.
It's mostly Navy, right? Got to be Pensacola, yeah. Navy, Marines, Merchant Marines, Coast Guard. Who's the oldest here? Who's the oldest? How old? 90? You've got
95.
Oh, 95 right here. Anybody can beat 95 like an auction. Who's the youngest here?
This trip started out with Vicki and I being here on a Saturday, and I saw one of my colleagues right here at this memorial who had some veterans from his district, and I asked him about it, and he said there's a program on the national level, and so we got to ask him the questions, began to talk to people around Northwest Florida. They said, let's do it. The money came in very quickly. In fact, we've got enough to do a second trip already. We're excited to have the opportunity. Of course, it took a lot of coordination, but there were a lot of people that had done this before, and we used their valuable experience, I think, to make it a smoother trip. When you think that we're losing 1,000 veterans a day from World War II, the time for them to come and see their memorial is very short. And I knew that if we sounded the call in Northwest Florida, that it would be answered not only by businesses and individuals to contribute, but that we would have an outpouring of veterans that would want to come see their memorial. So it's an honor for me and Vicki to host these great Americans here in their nation's capital. Well, you can't help but just be humbled by the stories that they tell. And you know, you've talked to them. These guys, when they came home, they didn't spend a lot of time talking about what they did. They went to school, they went back to work, they went to the farm, whatever they had to do, they went ahead and did it. And you listen to the stories, and these are true American heroes and treasures. We need to be thankful of those that did so much to continue to keep this country free and as great as it is. And when you think that had they not been successful in World War II, this world would have been a very different world. And so every day we should thank not only our good Lord for being in America, but also for the men and women that answered the call and did so without question. Well, we get ready for the next flight. You know, we've already got another 250 or so veterans in the queue. They'll go through the same screening process. We'll continue raising money because once this flight is done, we'll be prepared to raise money for another one. But I think once the experience gets out to people in Northwest Florida, they'll understand and want to support it even more.
I think everybody is excited. I've seen a lot of them with tears in their eyes. And so I think it's like, I don't see anybody could not be happy about being here. I think the memorial and George Washington and the White House and where they put this is fantastic.
I think you should know about all of our wars. I think our servicemen have performed well in all of our wars. And you know, when you're fighting a war, you are doing the job you're supposed to do, of course, and you don't make the rules. You didn't initiate the war to begin with, but you have to do your job when you're there.
But I think it's so many that did lose their life. A cousin that lost his life in the Battle of the Bulge, and one gentleman that's with us today that landed at D-Day on Normandy. And men like that just gave it all that we could have this wonderful freedom that we enjoy.
Well, you know, it's pretty hard to describe. I think what it means when you walk in here is that a reminder that sometime in your life, whoever you are, you know, make any difference with your color, religion, whatever, you may have to make a sacrifice for your country. And this doesn't do it justice. I mean, how do you memorialize those who gave their lives? The 400,000 represented by the gold stars. But I think it's significant, it's unique, it's, you know, it's just a wonderful tribute to these people from their 4 states here today. And we're down about 3.5 million out of 16.5, so we lose about 1,200 a day. Well, your first time is, I don't know how some of these guys, you know, how they handle it. And when you walk through that arch and probably suddenly remember you were once 18, 19, and now you can just barely make it through the arch. And you think about your family and your friends, and you look at the gold stars and think about 400,000 who never took a breath, never had a chance to do anything. You know, it's pretty tough stuff. I mean, but I think on the other hand, it's something that these men and women too, are going to remember the rest of their life. This may be the biggest thing that's happened in their lives in the last 10 years and probably the next 10 years. I mean, to think they're going to get to see it and touch it and have a ceremony and have a prayer and a wreath, and you know, it's. And I come out here. I've sort of become the unofficial greeter. I'm out here just about every time. Somebody said if you build it, they will come. And who knows? But right now, this memorial is the most visited memorial in D.C. And a lot of it is because of programs like Honor Flight, and there are others too, where the children and grandchildren are bringing their fathers or grandfathers, mothers, grandmothers here. It's certainly worth the effort. And these guys, see, the beauty of it is we can all tell great war stories, and there's nobody around to contradict us anymore. So we can all be. They were coming at me, 500 coming at me, a single. I only had one bullet left. Oh, you know.
Many of those who served in World War II were also called upon to serve in the Korean War.
Went in October, well, I went down and signed up on my birthday, October the 28th, 1943. And then they took me in the Army then, and I had training right in Camp Blanding, Florida. And then from there, I went overseas. In the Second World War, I fought in France in the Battle of the Bulge, and then from there on to all across Germany until we met the Russians. Across the Siegfried Line, Rhine River, and right on until we met the Russians. And then after that war was over, I enlisted again and ended up in the Korean War. Now, this is my past from the Second World War, 69th Infantry, the Red 6 and the Blue 9. This is great. This is great. That's what we got right here, and the pontoons and the M1 rifle and all that, and the old radio. I've seen that, yeah.
Hello. Oh, there's a whole bunch of you here. We're from Pensacola, Florida. Howdy. All burgers, huh? The Tigers, huh?
few of the World War II veterans who joined the armed forces at an early age were called upon to serve again, not only in Korea, but also in Vietnam. The setting is not only historic, but peaceful, a place of reflection and healing.
I was a veteran of World War II. I dropped out of high school in December of 42, just before I was going to graduate, to join the Marine Corps. Went out to the Pacific and spent 30 months out there, came back and went to college and got a direct commission as a lieutenant, got called back up and became an early fighter pilot. We got deployed over the Korean theater twice and then to Vietnam. I was in Vietnam for 5 years and 7 months because I wound up getting shot down. My initial take on the proposed Vietnam Wall was very dim after a number of visits to the memorial, one in particular where there were a large amount of Vietnam veterans at the memorial looking for friends and reminiscing. They saw it as being a very worthy memorial, and I came to the conclusion that that is my opinion as well. I think it's turned out to be a national treasure.
Seeing over 58,000 names on the wall of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was an emotional experience for many.
Wow. So you and I can be here and enjoy the freedoms we enjoy. They paid the ultimate price for us. Tell the true hero, like you keep saying.
I was on airfield number 2 with the 3rd Marine Division. We was headed the other direction from the mountain. We looked up there and that was the prettiest thing that we ever saw. We thought it was over, but it was just starting. And it was a beautiful sight. We thought, well, we got it out, we got it made now, but we didn't. Just think of all the guys that we lost over there. So I lost some of my best friends over there. Went through boot camp with, all the war with. I had one guy that told me to go get ammunition. And he was a Sullivan from Boston, Massachusetts, John D. Sullivan. He said, I'll go. And he didn't come back. So I guess it just wasn't my time to go while we were there. But we done some rough fighting. We lost a lot of men. Real kind of sad. Think about those guys, you know, that we left over there. We left the heroes over there. We're not heroes, those guys are. Ready? 1, 2, flip.
I was in the Marine Corps. I joined in Camp Lejeune. I went to Texas, volunteered in Texas, Dallas, went to California, went through boot camp, line camp, overseas to Hawaii, Pearl Harbor. From Pearl Harbor, I went to Saipan, Tinian, then I went up to Aishima, then Okinawa, then I went to China and got the planes for Chinook, and from China I came home. That was my career, and it was good. And I wasn't no John Wayne either. I was just there.
Immigrant parents came over, 5 sons that served in all the military branches. And at that time the policy was if you weren't a citizen they'd put you in a camp. And so his mother had to go get her citizenship to keep that from happening, and she couldn't speak English. And so the judge asked, is there no one back home that could help her with the English so she could pass the citizenship test? That being said, his brother said there's 5 brothers, but they're all serving different branches of the war. And the judge said, you mean you got 5 sons in the war? I said, yes, sir. He said, raise your right hand. You're an American citizen more than anybody. It's just very moving to know that they did what they did to save our country, and just very emotional. It's very proud of them. He's the last one of 5 brothers to survive that war, and it just means everything in the world for me to be able to come and help do whatever they want to do to make their day their day.
Wonderful day.
When I asked him what one of the memorious moments were coming back from the war, I said, is there any highlights you can tell me about? He said, yeah, coming home alive.
Yeah, I got hit in the leg. I got a piece up here that hit me in my chest and knocked me just as cold as a wedge like that and wrapped around that steel dog. Been for that steel tag, I'd have been dead that day.
Is that?
That wasn't the last. It just tore me open.
Well, I sure didn't know you was 102nd.
Yeah, I was in the anti-aircraft artillery.
Oh yeah.
So they kind of got that beat down, and then me and old boy, we want to fight. We want to get in the Air Force, fly them airplanes.
That's what I want to do too.
We went to Savannah. And old boy said, "Well, you all right physically?" He said, "Let's check you out." He throwed that 69 up there in them 29s, and I couldn't no more see that nothing. I said, "What's the matter with that? That ain't right." He said, "You colorblind." He said, "We sorry."
I took this 16 weeks after basic up at Little Rock, Arkansas. I didn't know anything about serving. I said we're going to a squadron.
Yeah.
And I said, well, I didn't know anything. It was an airplane squadron, motorcycle squadron, you know. So I said, well, now I found out there's an air base in Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah.
I knew we was going to Yuma. I said, oh boy, we're going to go in the Air Force. I went in the Air Force. We got to test 8th Division out in that desert.
What happened to us was when I was in an airborne outfit, was supposed to operate with the people that after they took the airstrips and things, set us down on C-47s and then 50 caliber gun emplacements to protect the runway so they could, get in that. The casualty rate was too high. They had one of them in India and they killed every one of them.
In a nutshell, it was the right thing to do. We heard of the opportunity for the World War II veterans to get an all-expense-paid trip up to see the World War II Memorial. Most of them are not in a situation where they can pay for their own way to do these kinds of things. So we felt that the greatest generation needed to be honored, not only by having a memorial presented to them by the citizens of this great country, but then to give them the opportunity to go see it after all that they sacrificed and gave to us in securing our freedom, the world's freedom, for that matter. So just felt not only honored, but obligated.
I've had a chance to go to all the memorials before, but to view them and see them with the veterans, completely different. It changes the whole concept of what the memorial is and what it stands for. And to see the veterans and hear their stories, it just brings everything to life and realize how much we have and what we should be thankful for.
They've been overwhelmed. I mean, just the stories you hear, and they say, y'all are doing this for us? I said, yeah, it's about time, isn't it? So I think it's a great experience for them. I know I'm getting a lot more out of it probably than they are.
Okay, here's the focus of effort right there. If he says 1, 2, 3, look at him. That's Bob, Grandpa.
So they can't ever get up to 11.
After a long day, it was finally time to travel back to the airport for the trip home.
Well, I can hardly read, so it works out well. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks for being with us today. It's been an absolute honor. I tell you, it's been great. Well, we're gonna keep chugging. We got 250 more. You guys want to go? We're gonna get away.
What did I think about today? Plumb beautiful, honey. Plumb beautiful. That was the greatest flight I ever had. It was great, the whole thing. Oh yes, very much so. I was glad. I had never been up to Washington D.C. before, but first time for everything. It was wonderful.
Marlon, how about you? Did you have a good time on the airplane?
Oh man, did I have a good time. I had a great time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Every minute of it.
spectacular, you know, just to have the opportunity to be with people that really made the world the way it is today.
Sure did.
Oh, it was a great experience, I tell you. It's one that I'll remember the rest of my life, which ain't much, but anyhow, I'll remember the rest of my life.
I'll remember it forever.
And as a guardian, Jackie, tell me, what are you thinking about the experience today?
Oh, it's been a fabulous day. It's just been so memorable, and we made great memories today, didn't we?
It's been wonderful.
Taylor, did you have a good time?
Yes, ma'am. Very.
I mean, it's great to be an American.
I'm thinking it's been a fabulous day.
Overwhelming! I've never known a day like this. Not even my wedding day. Wow!
I'll remember it for a long time.
It was an honor and a privilege to be a guardian to my three fellows, Mr. Appleyard, Mr. Brandon, and Mr. Bowles. My dad passed away a couple years ago. He was a World War II vet. I wanted to do this today to honor him. He would have loved to make this trip, and I'm just thrilled to be able to make it with these fine men. It was great.
I'm thinking what a great time it was and what great people in Pensacola have sent us. We really appreciate it.
Certainly, we can get a round of applause for everybody that put so much work into this thing and caring love for making this thing happen. I really appreciate it.
Today was a fabulous day because for years I've been trying to get my father up to the memorial. And I did everything. Tried to get him to walk, tried to get him to exercise, to go up there. We could never get him there because it was hard for him to get around post 9/11. Hard to get around the memorials.
And being a veteran and being over in England and Italy, I wanted to come and see it. I did my time over there, and I wanted to see what it was like.
So we jumped at the chance, registered as quickly as we could, and now my dad finally got a chance to see his memorial. He'd never even been to D.C. He was very, very excited. Yeah, really words can't describe what it's like to watch your dad, his face light up, to see things that he really thought he'd never see. And really thanks to Honor Flight and all of the donors and sponsors, really to make a dream become a reality. For a generation that gave so much to us, we don't have a clue, I don't think, sometimes what they went through to give us the freedoms and the liberties that we have today.
I think it's great. I think everybody involved has just done a terrific job. Couldn't be any better. I think everybody that's long here in this group is appreciative.
This is just the greatest of the great. I've enjoyed it. I never expected it. I never expected what happened. I never expected all this red carpet stuff, you know. And I have really enjoyed it. I would have never done it without y'all.
The great thing is when I look at the American flag, I'm not just going to see red and white stripes. I'm going to see the faces of real life people that were there during these world wars, that I owe them everything. They're our true heroes and patriots. And there's nothing more honorable than that.
I went 60-something years and I didn't feel like this. This did it.
But the whole key is to honor these heroes and to hear them talk, to talk to their families, it's worth it.
You know, I think we're going to really realize it tomorrow after we wake up and look back at everything that we've seen today. But the honor goes to the men and women, but it's our honor to be able to do it. And it's just been an amazing journey.
The tribute to these veterans was not yet over. At home in Pensacola, family, friends, and members of the community were all waiting to embrace these heroes.
Before you is a representation of the finest America has to offer.
Right.
Okay? Sure. It's the senior enlisted active duty representatives of all the services, all representing those commands that are here in the greater Pensacola area. They're here for you. They're here to honor you. Let's go see your welcome home, okay? Thank you all.
Praise it! Huh!
heroes. Congratulations on a job well done. Ready, two. How about, hey. Forward, hold. All right. Stand by. Detail. Hold. Hold on.
It was just a nice tribute to them, and I know that they are just thrilled. You can see the great smiles and all of these little memories they're calling back, and so obviously the thing made them very happy.
I wouldn't miss it for the world.
About patriotism.
My mother tried to join the Navy but didn't meet the height requirement, and so she went to the Army and they took her. That's how much she wanted to serve.
She put cardboard in her shoes. That's what she told us.
Woohoo!
Bless your heart. Thank you.
I talk to the World War II vets frequently, and I just looked and tried to find something that I could do for them because they had done so much for us. And to be able to go and be a part of this, I was willing to ride on the wing if I could, to be there and to see them sharing their stories, to see them laughing together, crying together, the camaraderie and the emotions just welling up. I hope it blessed them even a tenth of what it blessed me. An awesome, awesome day.
wonderful just to see everything and be with all these guys. None of them was in my outfit, but just to be with a bunch of guys, we were still brothers in this thing. We were stuck together since the early 40s when this thing started. Anytime we get together, we're family. So that means a whole lot.